this assignment, I wanted to adapt a favorite toy of one of my clients at fieldwork. I was inspired a few weeks ago when we were playing with one of his favorite wooden puzzles, and he was having trouble manipulating the pieces and seeing the pieces. This young boy has a genetic disorder that not only impairs his vision, but his motor coordination. So it wasn't a huge surprise that he was struggling with this puzzle. So I thought, what better way of completing this assignment and being able to maybe make a positive impact in one of my clients' lives than to try to make this puzzle fit more into his just right zone, meaning that it's not so difficult that it becomes frustrating, and it's not so easy that it's boring. First, I wanted to show you the inspiration for this project. This is the puzzle that I originally used with the client. He had trouble differentiating between the puzzle pieces and the background. As you can tell, it's very visually busy. He also had trouble manipulating the puzzle pieces and getting them into the different slots. So thinking about these issues, I wanted to take a puzzle and make it more appropriate for his skill and ability. For this first adaptation, you'll need a foam brush and black paint. So as a result of seeing my client struggle with visually being able to see the pieces of his puzzle, I wanted to adapt this puzzle so it was easier for him to see. And what I learned by doing some research is that by creating contrast between the foreground and the background, it helps individuals that have low visual acuity to be able to see or differentiate between objects. This adaptation is fairly easy to do. I removed the puzzle pieces and then I took my foam brush and I just gently painted the background. And because these puzzle pieces are inset, it allowed me just to hit the background. As you can see in the upcoming slides, this simplified the image and hopefully it allows for easier viewing. From these pictures, as I add more and more black paint, the contrast increases between the puzzle pictures and the background. For the second adaptation, you will need a ribbon, a staple gun, and some felt pads. So the next adaptation I wanted to make to the puzzle to address my client's fine motor, grasping, bilateral coordination difficulties. And what I was thinking is, in order for him to be able to participate and play with this puzzle, he's going to need some assistance with handling the puzzle. The first adaptation I made to address this issue was by adding a ribbon to the back of the puzzle. So I took a ribbon and I secured it at the top with 2 staples, and then I took it around the back and secured it to the bottom of the puzzle. What this did was create a loop on the back of the puzzle that my client could slide his hand in and then be able to hold the puzzle without having to use any grasp or fine motor skills. This could be done with any sort of material. You might want to consider a more rigid loop for some clients, but in this particular case it worked. I also added grips to the corners of the puzzle. My thought behind this was that if he's working on a tabletop surface, this would keep the puzzle from moving or sliding around as he's trying to manipulate the puzzle pieces with one hand. So this week at Fieldwork, I took the puzzle with me and I used it with the client that I designed it for, and I'm happy to report that I think it did make a positive impact on his performance. By far, the most effective adaptation was by visually simplifying the puzzle by painting the background black. It was noticeable that he was better able to identify the pieces of the puzzle, and as a result, it was easier for him to insert the puzzle pieces into the correct location. We didn't get a chance to use the handle on the back or the grips on the back, but I think in the future he may choose to use those adaptations. The adaptations that I made to the puzzle were specific for this individual client. However, I can see these same adaptations being beneficial for clients with cerebral palsy. With this population, you tend to see low visual acuity where contrast could help, and then also muscle control issues, which limits fine motor and bilateral coordination. So using a strap or some sort of grip can help these children or individuals better access the toy. With all adaptations made to any sort of device, we always want to consider the individual's characteristics. Not all clients are the same, so they're always going to need something slightly different than another person. To adapt the puzzle, I spent approximately $14. $10 for the puzzle, $1 for the brush, $1 for the paint, and then $2 for the felt pads. I had the ribbon and I also had the staple gun at home. To complete the entire process, it took approximately 30 minutes. I think it's important for whatever adaptations we suggest, we consider the cost and time associated with those adaptations so that they're most accessible for the majority of our families.